I am the Headless Headhunter. I'm a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The resume we have up first is, this is not a title. You cannot do this to me. You need to pick a job title when you send me your stuff. Junior software engineer is not a job title. Now, I'm aware you're trying to look for your first job, and you probably do not know that, and that is okay. But software engineer jobs are broken into 5 different types of roles. There's front end, back-end Java, back-end C, back-end, oh my gosh, Python, and full stack. If it's not one of those, it doesn't count, right? Now, I'm not saying you need to be completely specialized. I'm just saying your resume needs to be focused on those things. So I did a meter yeet of this, and it was definitely a yeet, which I forgot to click the button on, but whatever. And I did not find that. So I'm assuming you're going for full stack. If you're going for full stack, these are the keywords I would be looking for, okay? This stuff, right? Oh, no, broken my own formatting right here. This is what I'm looking for. Stop just saying software engineer or anything. That does not work. Resumes, by their nature, are minimum qualification documents. If you do not meet the minimum qualifications for the role, you are going to be yeeted. And the minimum qualifications are going to change based on the role. A full stack like this has these as their minimum qualifications. A Python backend has these as their minimum qualifications, which people can kind of see. So let me fix that. So everything is going to be different based on what you're applying to. And remember, I'm not saying you need to have done everything. I don't know why the formatting is so bad for that. I'm just saying you need to focus your resume on it. So I'm going to try and look for full stack, but I don't know what you are. So this, fine. One line though, not bolded. This can be deleted. Nothing counts here. If it's in a skills section, it doesn't count. It has to be under a job, an internship, or a project. And you need to tell me how and the reason or result of you using it. If you do not do those, if it's not under those things, or you don't tell me the how or the reason or result, it does not count and it might as well not exist in your resume. So this can be deleted. Nothing here should be bolded. And then REST APIs with Flask. So the REST APIs is good. That is something I would be looking for. Python is something I'd be looking for. But the problem is I don't know the rest of this. I don't find. If I'm doing, full stack, I need to see JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and TypeScript. Although TypeScript can sometimes be replaced with Python. But primarily I still need to see JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. And I don't see that at all. And then there's nothing here. And then I didn't even have time to get down to here. Now, SQL is good, Spring Boot is good, and Java-based microservice is great, but that's for a back-end Java engineer. This would be a phenomenal sentence for a back-end Java engineer, but then you also went immediately to full stack here. So I don't know what you are. This can be deleted because you were not there for a long time, and it does not... it doesn't show anything I'd really need. I know it says Azure, but they're not really looking for that type of stuff. So this can be deleted. And then this stuff you need to actually drill down on and you need to make it focused. So pick a stack. I can give you the keywords for the stack you want below, at least in the US. But if you do not pick a stack, you will fail. And that's all there is to it. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish you could show everything you've done and then your resume shows how good you are. But they don't do that. Resumes are terrible for that. They are very, very job title specific. So that's all I can really do for this because I don't know what you are and I can't give you the keywords. But once you find what you're looking for, this is how you write a good bullet point. This is a good bullet point. This is junk and should be deleted. This is phenomenal. So let me know about your job search struggles below and I'll see if I can help in the comments. I always like helping people. If you need more help, please check out my Twitch chat at every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST at twitch.com/headlessheadhunter. And, like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of an EU full stack developer. So, again, the EU full stack is going to be slightly different than the US full stack. This person, this is hard for me to judge because they said they've had over 400 applications and 10 plus interviews, which is good, and 4 to 5 final stages and no offers. So I actually think that's pretty solid. Like that's a 1 in 40 ratio, which is not bad. That's pretty good. But it's also I don't know how long they've been looking for another job. So if that is 400 applications over a year, that's terrible. If that is 400 applications over 2 months, that's fantastic. So I don't have enough. In addition, I'm a US-based recruiter. So what I'm going to be looking for in the EU full stack specifically, and I assume I'm going to find some of this, is TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Java, Spring Boot, Kubernetes, or Python, Django, or Docker. I'm going to be looking for one of these lines, but not necessarily both. So it's okay if you only have one of these. Node, Angular, Next.js, SQL, React, JS, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and bonus points for architecture, extra language, and Git. Basically, the only real difference is Java, Spring Boot, Kubernetes, or Python, Django, and Docker. You do not need both. You just need one. So, blah, 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 blah. So here's the thing. This I don't need. This is formatted so awful for me. But it's also possible that you're getting a lot of interviews because of your general location in the United Kingdom, which I don't know. I'm not an EU recruiter. Is the UK still in the... I don't think it's in the EU anymore. I don't know the geography over there. My Americanism is showing. This, I think, should be one line, and you don't need to tell... you should keep the first class honors. But you don't need to keep this. I don't think you need this because you already got college. And, okay, your formatting is so awful. But personal project on the dynamic React-based full universal React is good. Displays League of Legends data. League of Legends. I used to play that. I got plat twice. Organized way to use Write API. Next.js, Express.js, AWS MySQL. Okay, DNS Test.js. Agile, Python, backend. So here's my thing with this. I would always rather somebody have better bullet points than better formatting. Ideally, I would want both. But your bullet points are not terrible. These are actually mostly what I would want to see. I see Python. I don't see Django or Docker yet, but I did say React, which is going to be a keyword. I did see SQL. I did see Agile. I did see Git. I saw AWS. I saw API. So I'm missing a little bit here. Like I'm missing TypeScript in that kind of stuff. But I have some of that. I don't know if I could move you forward. But let's see. But I do know this person has something that is amazing, which is this. If you ever have multiple languages, those are amazing. So what I would recommend is you fix your formatting. And B, let me know how long it took you to get those 400 apps out, because I'm going to guess that you change stuff each time to make it a perfect fit, which is why you've had 400 over maybe like a year or two. Or maybe I'm wrong, and in your area, this is peak resume. But there's something off about this, although I will say don't beat yourself up over about not getting it after the final stages, because the final stage interview is success. If at any point you get to the final stage, you have succeeded. That's just the nature of it. At the final stage, there's such a small window of like things you can do. So as long as you made it to the final stage, you did succeed. Now, I do want to know a little bit of the other stuff, like of those 10 interviews, were they, a lot, but I'm missing some information here, is what I'm saying. But these are not terrible. Like I said, I would prefer you put TypeScript and JavaScript and CSS. But the fact that you have AWS and GitHub and Next.js is good. Now, I don't like it that you bolded it, because this entire resume should look like this. And this is an absolute nightmare to read. But I think if you fix your formatting and then add just this stuff up here, like 2 or 3 things, you should be golden and be getting a lot more interviews. So that's all I can really do for this one, because it's This one really hurts me to read, and again, it's in the EU or the UK or whatever y'all are doing over there across the pond. I don't know yet. I'm always open. Tell me in the comments how absolutely wrong I am by what I just said. So, it's not... That's all I can really do for this, is I don't have enough information. And again, maybe you're not actually going for full stack. I assume you're going for full stack, but maybe you're not. So... yeah, I'm left confused on this, and I want to know more information. My guess is you've been, say, looking for another job since November of 2023, and 400 applications out of in 2 years or a year and a half is not good. So tell me more so I can help you, because there's information I'm not getting here. Let's go to the next resume. This is my dog Bear, and he is eagerly waiting for me to play the laser game with him, but that's not why you're here. So, what this person is a full-stack software developer, again, in the United States. I assume this is in the US, actually. They didn't fully say. They are an F1 visa holder, and they are a recent international graduate, tech experience in a different country. So, the very first thing is, they may not know how to work with an F1 visa. I think I've worked with it maybe once or twice, but I don't know. And you have a ratio of 150 plus to 1. And I know part of that is a visa, because if you have a visa... Hey, what are you doing, dog? He just, like, put his head in my lap. Sorry. So if you have a visa, it's going to be a little bit different. And it's going to be tougher. But I can at least judge the resume, so hopefully we can get it to, like, if you didn't have a visa, a 1 in 10, which would then make it to, like, a 1 in 30, 1 in 40 with a visa. So, Bear, are you ready to help them? And not put your whole face, which 100-pound body, in my lap because you think you're a lap dog? Alright, so... what we're looking for is, same as always for full stack: TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, ABI, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and bonus points for architecture and extra language. So this can be safely deleted. This is not what I need. Now, again, what you want to put is how we can work with your visa. So I don't know how to work with an F1 visa. The recruiters on there might assume that your visa is the same as an H-1B, which is not the case. So you need to let us know how to work with it, because that's going to be a lot of issues. Is maybe they don't know they can work with it. Maybe their company can work for it and they don't know. Immigration is a nightmarish, labyrinthian process, and recruiters' real response, the first thing is always going to be, let me talk to a lawyer. Because even immigration lawyers can get confused. So this should be deleted, with the exception of how we can work with your visa. And then your education should be, this person put a fake phone number up at the top, so if the number shows, it's fake, so don't worry. Hi Bear, thank you for licking my arm. Where is your education? Okay, Masters in Science. So the Masters of Science should be up at the very top. It should be right after the how to work with your visa summary. This should be deleted. I do not need it. It is not needed at all. Can be safely deleted. And then we go into the actual. So your formatting is awful. Make your formatting like this. Your summary will be right between these two. And then your education will be like this. Please, please, please make your resume look like this. Remember, we have 15 seconds. That's all we get. And it's very difficult to find what we need in those 15 seconds when your resume looks like this. So on to the actual bullet points. Nothing here. Okay, nothing I'd be looking for. Reduced S3 storage costs. Oh my God, Bear, stop licking my arm. It does not need to be wet. Developed multi-threaded Node.js services. So this is the first thing I needed, which was multi-threaded Node.js services. Multi-threaded is a good thing to put in, but Node is the only thing I found. And if you noticed, I had to go all the way down here until I found Node. SQL. And here we go. TypeScript. Yeesh, nothing. Cloud Run is not what I'd be looking for. GraphQL. Everybody puts GraphQL. I don't think I've seen a single role with it. Nothing. API. Yeah, so you have like nothing here. You need to completely redo your entire resume. This is not even counting the visa status, which again is going to hurt your chances. This is specifically that there is nothing here that I know of. I cannot find anything I need. Remember, these are the minimum qualifications. You need 75% of those. If I do not find 75% of those minimum qualifications, you are going to be assumed that you do not have the qualifications for the role. So there's just nothing here. So your formatting needs to be changed, and you need to add these things in the keywords, because this is what we're looking for. So it's not that you're just out of state, it's that I don't have them. Because you have them here, but remember, these don't count. Does not count up here. I want to drill that in everybody's head. Does not count. I need it to be here, and then how you used it and the reason or result of it. And stop bolding everything. It makes it way worse. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a Android developer. They're looking for remote jobs, which I can't. That's kind of hard to help you with because the keywords are going to be the same. It's just the competition is going to be fiercer. And this person is probably either in Australia or to India, and I don't know if I could find those. So these are the keywords for the US version. These may not be 100% accurate for an Android developer, but what we'd be looking for is your education, Kotlin, Java, communication with technical and non-technical teams, Git, Android, SDK, UI, UX, RESTful APIs, GraphQL. This is one of the few jobs that actually asked for GraphQL. I see that in like everything. This is one of the few that I've actually seen it needed. Jetpack and its whatevers, MVVM, MVC, and a bonus for iOS CI/CD. So the first thing that's wrong is 2 columns. Please never make your resume into 2 columns. Your resume needs to be 1 column. This is what your resume should look like, not this. There is so much bolding I can't see almost anything I need. And in addition, this person docks themselves up above, so I cannot show any more than this. So, code base from XML. Jetpack is good, but let's see, SEO magazine, Jetpack, GitHub. So yeah, I've only found 2 in this entire thing, and maybe there's more, but the formatting's so awful I can't really find it. UI, okay, that's a bonus again. That's not. No, that is needed. That is one of those. It's Android API, Midstory download, Java, Kotlin. Okay, and that's like it. So if there's anything else, I couldn't find it. Please stop making your resume look like this. This is a nightmare incarnate. I know you're trying to showcase what you did well, but this is what we want to see. Okay, I want to see it written like this. I want to see it look like this. I want to see it as basic and boring as this, because this is what gets you interviews. This will get you rejected because I can't find anything I need. Not just in the keywords, but it's so hard to read. And this is why 2 columns never work. It's because what I care about is here. Here. And I do care about some of this stuff like this, but it's such a nightmare to read. So this is all I can really do for this, but this would definitely be nothing because this is what I'm looking for, at least in the US. And please stop using double column. I've never seen a resume be improved by being more than 1 column. Let's go to the next resume. Just do this in post. This is a resume of a technical artist. So with the disclosure that I have never recruited for this role before, I apparently cooked their previous resume really bad. But they're not looking. They wanted to be very clear they're not looking just in case layoffs could happen, because, you know, you always want to make sure your resume is updated every 3 months. But what we're looking for in a technical artist is shipped products. They want to see that you've done stuff that is, you know, been out. VFX pipelines, Unreal shader, blueprints, Spine, Adobe, Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, 3D software, Maya, Blender, Cinema, art asset optimization and how it affects gameplay performance, Perforce, Jira, Confluence, MS Team, Excel, any coding language, Python, C#, Java, and a bonus would be HLSL. Now, there were not a ton of these roles available. There's only like 240 in the entirety of the US. So if you want it, now I do want to ask another thing is, if you are going for game design, there is another way to do it. Is I have noticed with game design jobs is they are broken down into game design jobs that are single player focused games versus like MMO type games. Now, I don't just mean massively multiplayer as in like WoW. I mean specifically in like, Diablo involves a large amount of connection between people, Planet Side, Warframe, that kind of stuff. So one is sort of for the online engine optimization and the other is for internal single player like gameplay and physics. And that is how you break down the game developer jobs into two separate ones. But this is not either of those. This is a technical artist. So let's see what this does. This is fine. I'm not sure why this is 2 lines instead of 1, but it's okay. I would have preferred this to be 1 line here and 1 line here instead of 2. So I'm not really sure what you blacked out, but refactored and developed interactive Unity, good for X and Y. I'm going to assume that is a game. That's okay. Used C#, good, and shader and core, good. Python, good. Mel, I don't know if I saw Mel or not. Again, I'm not into this industry, so my knowledge of this is a little less, but Maya is what we're looking for. CAD, maybe. Pipeline documentation, I don't think this one's needed. Development times by 3 months by AI optimization, visual shaders, VFX, good. Project management and Autodesk Maya, media models. So this isn't bad. I actually see most of what I wanted. I think there may be a couple of extraneous stuff, and I'm not sure. Did I see Adobe? Adobe's all the way at the bottom, so I would like something here for Adobe. Do I need Git? I don't know, but it's okay. Because again, I'm not into this industry as much, so I may not know it. But I would like how you optimize something and you do repeat Unity. Because remember, you don't want to repeat it in the same job. So if you have Unity here, you don't need to say Unity here. Now you should say Unity here, but don't double it up in the same job. But the CAD files, I don't know if CAD is needed. Again, this might be my lack of understanding of the needed, but this is actually pretty solid, and I feel like this will get you some interviews. What am I missing is art asset optimization and Perforce. I saw Perforce in a lot. I would recommend that, and I do need Adobe somewhere. So Adobe should be up here somewhere too. But I really like what you're doing here, and I think this is much improved. So, Metaverse Project, 3D Space, good. 3D models and Autodesk Maya. Yeah, and I think you mentioned Maya like 3 times when you only need to mention it once. So, this is a little over-engineered, and I think you're missing a couple of things, but much better. I'm not cooking this. I'm just giving you slightly harsher criticism, but this is overall much better. I just wish there was a little bit more, and you sort of fit in more into each bullet point, and then a little bit less on some of the stuff like detailed pipeline documentation and naming conventions. So much better. Much better. I do like it. And that is the last resume for this one. So please subscribe, like, comment, and hit the bell, like, comment, and let me know how your job search is going in the comments below. It helps me get a pulse for the market, which is so far terrible. So I'm expecting those to be pretty negative, which I would understand. And if you need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And let's go to the next video.